Hello world, Stephen Michael Zach here, and today we are pitting the DJI Mic Mini versus the Hollyland Lark system. Now, they cost this much at the time of the recording of this video, and I did buy these with my own money, so these are going to be my own brutal and honest opinions as always. So, let's go down to the ring and find out which one will be crowned champion. Now, first off, let's take a look at the system I have been using, and that is the Hollyland system here. Now, I did have the lightning cable attachment as well as the USB-C, but as you can see, nothing fits in the case except for the two receivers and transmitter. So that is definitely a negative already, and you do get a fairly large coiled wire here. Hopefully the lightning cable will turn up. I think it's somewhere in my house. Hopefully it didn't fall into the trash and get thrown out. But again, in less than 24 hours, I'm already losing pieces. So there you go. There you have it. But let's take a look at the build quality. I really like the Hollyland. I love how small this is. You've got your USB port in the back. It is very solid. It is a magnetic closing top, which I really love. And inside, you're going to get two receivers and two transmitters and a receiver here. And I love the way that things just magnetize into this case. Very simple. And let's take a look at the receiver. You have this giant dial here. Now, there are no numbers, but you do get these three dots, plus and minus. And of course, you get two lights here to show that these are connected. So flipping this over, you get your USB-C, you get your power, and you get your mono and stereo feeds. So you could either do stereo feed, so you could either record both mics to one track, or you can split the track, which is very cool. And on the side here, you have your attachment so that you can plug this into the camera. And you have an okay, it's kind of a cold shoe slash clip. It's okay. It's cheap. It's plastic. It's fine. Who knows how long these are going to last. And of course, you have your connecting points on the bottom. And that is the receiver. Moving over to the transmitter, you have your microphone up top. You have this button. Again, you can press this button and that will create a noise canceling. So if you're in a busy park, or you're at a trade show, or you're at a convention, you can press that and it will kind of drown out the background, which is very, very cool. Now I will say I have heard this on other reviews. I am not a fan of it. I think it's too muddy, but that is just my opinion. On the bottom, you get your charging connectors, and on the back, you get a magnet with a giant magnet point, which seems to work very well. And as you can see, this thing does come with stickers, and I have chosen the black stickers to cover up the Hollyland logo because I absolutely hate when I have to look at logos on these microphones. I absolutely hate it. One of the reasons I purchased the Hollyland is because I could cover this up. So there you go. There you have it. There is no clip included. I believe there is like a magnetic clip that'll clip back to here, and then you can clip it on yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the notes below, but that's it. And putting these away is simple. You just wait till they magnetize in here, which is very cool. And we'll go ahead and pop that in. And that's it. I really love how this case is magnetic and closes fairly solidly. And of course, on the front here, you've got lights to show that it's charging. And when you plug this in, they move to show that the case is charging. So there you go. There you have it. And I do like the addition of this transmitter here. You get a USB-C on the side here, and then this plugs into your cell phone. And I do like this. I think this is fantastic. And we'll show what the DJI option is. It's not as good as this. Sliding over to the DJI, this thing is quality. Even the packaging was incredibly premium. Now you are going to get a carrying case with this, and I do like the addition of this, even though it makes it a bigger system. But we'll put it aside and let's take a look at the main event here, the DJI. This case is, as you can see, much bigger than the Hollyland here. So there you go, one strike against it there. But it does have lovely feet. It does have a USB-C in the back, and it does have 4 lights for charging and to tell you if the case is charged on the front. And it does have this weird little button. It's not a magnetic case. And the button and this little lever thing feels okay. If I'm careful, it shouldn't break. but it's just on a spring. But this thing flips open, and inside you get a plethora of stuff, and most of the stuff fits in the case. You are going to get the transmitter. Now let's take a look at the transmitter. You do get a power button. You get a -6 to +6 dial that turns, a really hard physical dial. This dial is a little bit, like the plastic is a little sharp to my fingers and it feels a little cheap, not as premium as, say, the big, really nice dial, clicky dial on the Hollyland. I think that's a little bit better. So I will say the Hollyland sort of wins in that perspective. I think this is just a little too cheap, a little too sharp, but it does give you a little marker here to tell you what you're on. And again, your power button is there. Flipping over to the bottom, you do get kind of this clippy thing and this cold shoe here. So you can either clip this to something, or you could slide it onto a shoe adapter. Moving over to the other side, you do get a sync button, and of course you get a place to put your wires so you can plug this into your camera. And on the front, you do get a blinking light to show that it is connected when it is green. Now sliding over to the back, you get a USB Type-C, and this is so you can plug it into your computer and use this thing as a computer mic. So there you go, there you have it. And then you have the charging little charging plate right there. And now this thing has something very interesting. It has this removable door, because inside you are going to get a USB Type-C. So what you want to do is you want to take the two holes there and the two holes and the two pegs back there, and you're just going to easily slide this in. Then you take your iPhone and slide this into your iPhone, and then you can record using your iPhone and one of these transmitters. So that is super cool. I do think, though, that this is a little too big, whereas with the Hollyland, you don't use the receiver. This is another receiver. So you can plug this in and use this with the Hollyland, and you do get a USB if you want to keep this charged. So that is much cooler. And of course, this comes up and wants to open and immediately wants to use the Hollyland mic, which is very cool. So I do like how small this is versus the DJI. And also be careful, you could lose this door. I like to stick it into where the USB went, like so. And it does actually fit in here, so you can close the case and keep it safe, or I would just leave it home. I don't really necessarily think you need to have it covered. And of course, there is a spot. If you do have an older iPhone, there is a spot for your lightning cable here with a little plug there. Probably won't use that, but it's there for you if you have an older iPhone. And this door slides on very, very, very easy. So very cool, really excited. And yes, I was able to actually get the cable that plugs into the receiver in the top here. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'll show you why. I'll show you why later. Now let's take a look at the transmitters. Now, these are the slipperiest microphones I've ever held in my hand. I can't tell you in less than 20 minutes how many times I've dropped these, at least 30. They're just very, very slippery. They've got a giant shiny logo on the front, which I'm not a fan of. But let's take a look at here. You've got your microphone on top, and you've got your sync button, your sync light there. On this side, you have your sync button and your power button. And of course, on the bottom, you do have your charging. And then on the back, they do give you a magnet, which is super strong. And then they give you this very, very, very cheap, not confidence. This is not instill confidence, this clip. This is probably going to break very soon. And then once the clip breaks, there's really nothing to attach this to. We'll talk about that later, but that's one of the negatives there. And of course, when you press the power button once, the light over here will go on. That is like the active, like all mode that will, keep your microphone from peaking and, and kind of drown out the background. That is the all powerful button there. I'm going to click that one more time and it goes off. So there you go. There you have it. That is pretty much the kit. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this premium bag. It is absolutely beautiful. You get a very nice little belt loop here. The zipper feels really good, really solid. And inside, you do get a zipper pocket, which I really, really like. And inside, you are going to get, of course, the A to C cable for charging. And you do get this bendable cable for your camera. And yes, before you ask, I can squeeze it in here. I wouldn't recommend it because you might sever something inside, but you can if you really need to. I wouldn't. I would just take the case. So you get these two things for charging, and then you get a plethora of dead cats. You get two gray and two black, and there are these little these little elastic pockets here that hold them. Let's go ahead and throw this on now. So what you want to do is you want to take the back end here, the longer end here, and go right behind the clip like so. Actually, I'll use the gray ones because the gray ones seem to work better. And there we go, Bob's your uncle. That is not coming off at all. Then to take it off, you just want to reach your thumbnail under the front here and just peel that off. And there you go. There you have it. Very, very simple. And everything stores right inside here. Nice and safe and sound. It's not going to fall out, which I really love. And of course, you do have a zipper pocket that runs the whole length of the side of the bag. So if you want to put your SD cards in here, if you want to put anything else in here, you can. Feel free to. There's plenty of room. Zip this up and let's go ahead and put the DJI back. This does magnetize in. Oh, let's do it right side up. I will say that the magnetization is not as good on the DJI as it is on the Hollyland. We'll close that up. Then we'll just slide this into the case like so. Zipper it up and you're good to go. Everything is contained in this one pouch. Whereas the Hollyland, you're probably going to need to buy one of these pouches. So this is the Hollyland. This is what it sounds like. Now, I have been using the Hollyland for a while, and I think there's almost like an echo, and it almost doesn't sync with the video properly. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it's something that's been driving me crazy, is I don't think it syncs necessarily well. Watch my mouth, watch what I do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if it's syncing properly. Also, I've noticed that in the processing, when it's not processed, there's a little bit of an echo sound. I don't know if that's the room bouncing in or this isn't high enough, but I will say that the sound quality is just okay out of the Hollyland. So that is the Hollyland. And here we go. Here's the Hollyland processed. I've actually been using Adobe Podcast at 50% to do all my audio. So let me know down in the notes below if you like that. If you think my videos are sounding any better, I'm just going to let AI do the work. Okay, so here we are on the DJI, and I have that right about where the Hollyland was. And as you can see, because this is a little bit heavier, it is also a little bit droopier. So again, not a huge fan of the droopiness of this. Again, I wear thin shirts. It's very droopy as much as the Rode is droopy. So that's definitely a huge negative against it. The fact that it is super droopy, and when you put the dead cat on it, it is even more droopier. So there you go, there you have it, but this is what it sounds like unprocessed. And this is through Adobe Podcast. Again, I do this at 50%. I like the way it sounds, and if you like the way it sounds, give me a shout out in the comments. Whether you like it or not, I'd like to know. But I think it just cuts down my workflow a whole bunch. It does the work for me. Again, if you're not using AI tools, you're not using the tools at your fingertips, what are you doing with your life? That's all I got to say. So there we go. That is what it sounds like. And this is what the active sounds like. And I'll just give a, hey, hi. So anyway. So that is what the active sounds like. Hopefully that didn't over peak it too much. Hopefully it did its job and it balanced it out. Okay, here we are on the Hollyland, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit this noise active canceling, and you can hear what it sounds like. Hey, ho, hey, how you doing? So as you can see, that is what it sounds like. Hopefully it didn't peak too much there. So that's it. Okay, so one thing is I absolutely hate shirt magnets. Having to put a magnet behind my shirt is a pain in the butt. I do not like it. As you can see, I wear these, again, wear these thin shirts. It tends to bunch up my shirt and not look good on camera. So I will most likely want to stick with a clip in my collar, or wear a shirt that has a low enough neckline to where I can clip it to my shirt, or wear a jacket. I am not a fan of these magnets at all. That is just a personal preference. Okay, so at the end of the day, which one am I going to go with? Am I going to go with the DJI, or am I going to go with the Hollyland? And I have to tell you that it's probably neither. I'm probably going to stick with the old faithful, the Rode Wireless Pro, and the lav mic. I just think it sounds the best on my voice. It is much easier to use. I can just record in Float 32 onto the Rode, and then I can just throw it into Pluralize, and it syncs perfectly well. I will say that both of these seem to have a little bit of lag when they record to the camera. My voice is just slightly off. So I don't know if that's something with the 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. Not really sure what that's about. I do know that the Hollyland does sound a little bit, it doesn't sound as good. There's like almost like a strange echo, and I think that's because this room's a little bit echoey, and I don't think it's doing its job. So there's a bit of an echo, and it is a little bit of a peaking with the Hollyland. Yes, you can kind of adjust it and work it in post, but um, sound wise, not the best. However, the DJI sounds fantastic. It sounds like the Rode, only with less bass. I do really like the sound. So if I had to go with one of these, I would definitely say go with the DJI. You're getting more bang for your buck. You're able to carry it. You're not going to lose anything because all these pieces won't fit in the case. So there you go. There you have it. Now, with that said, I do like the Hollyland case. I love the magnetic case. I think this little button on the front here, the fact that I can't just open this, I think it's got a little safety lock. That might drive me crazy, although I do know why they did it, because if you drop the Hollyland, it's possible over time, magnets fail. It's possible this may just start flipping open. And that's probably why they did the safety lock instead of magnets. Understandable. But again, I will say I do like the quality of the DJI. Plus, you get so much more. You get this beautiful bag. They give you 4 dead cats. They give you all the wires you need. Inside here, everything fits in here, including your Lightning and USB Type-C cable. So super, super awesome. I will say I do not like the clips on these, and I absolutely hate magnets for clipping these mini microphones on. And I will say that the DJI is the slipperiest microphone I've ever had in my hand. I've dropped this at least 30 times in the past hour. They are just tiny, so tiny, and so slippery that they're just slipping out of my hands. And I do not like the fact that I have to stare at a DJI logo. That drives me crazy when I'm watching a video and I'm staring at a logo. Um, it just does not look good on camera. And of course, when you use magnets, they don't look good on your shirt. So there you go. There you have it. So I will say that both systems are very, very nice. Hollyland is very kind of set and forget. And it works okay sound wise. You heard the noise canceling active mode, so I'll let you guys make your decision on that. I think the DJI does a little bit better. I think the Hollyland is too muffled. I've said that before. But I do like the fact that Hollyland has a separate receiver for the cell phone, and all you have to do is plug this little tiny thing in and go. I think that is fantastic. Whereas, you have to pull out the receiver, pull out this part, take the door off, hope you don't lose the door, because it's another small piece that you're going to have to keep in the zipper pocket of this bag, and then put it all together and have this big chunk thing on the bottom of your phone. I just think the Hollyland is a little bit more elegant and sleek, but I do think that the DJI is just premium and has better sounding quality. So there you go. There you have it. At the end of the day, I'm going to call this one a tie, a stalemate, between not only the DJI and the Hollyland, but of course, Rode, my tried and true. I really do like the sound of the Rode because I have a bassy voice, and the bass, it just makes my voice sound really deep and really nice. It is a personal preference, and I do like the lav mic. It's not too much of a problem, and I don't have a giant logo on my shirt or some little thing on my shirt with a sticker on it. This just feels more professional and looks more professional. So there you go. There you have it. All in all, these aren't bad. but I would lean toward the DJI, or even I would even look at the Rode, because Rode does have a micro system as well. And hopefully, I'm going to get my hands on one of those as well. So let me know down in the notes below if you want me to review the Rode. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and I'll see you next time inside the ring.